respectful wrestling fans. And I remember at the time I was a little worried going, hey, someone might, whatever, pinch my ass or do something like that. But they were as into it as, as could be. And it was actually a lot of fun. And no, nobody took any cheap shots or anything like that. But, yeah, I was definitely a little nervous when they started passing me around. Just going, please don't drop me.
That's funny.
We got a couple of questions from the chat room. One from Scott from down in Australia. He wanted to know, how did you feel about losing the Cruiserweight title to Funaki back when you were with the WWE?
Oh, that was no problem. I mean, Funaki was a great guy and great worker, or is a great guy and is a great worker. He was a lot of fun to wrestle. My only disappointment with that was that they, I beat Rey Mysterio for it, and, a few weeks after I won the title, Rey was getting a big push, with the world title and something like that, and it was like he was the focal point. And this isn't a knock on Rey. I mean, obviously he's one of the best in the world ever. But I felt that they, if you're going to run an angle, run an angle. They just gave me a match with Funaki and said, drop the strap. Now, I have no problems dropping the strap to Funaki or anybody for that matter, but get mileage out of the title. Make it mean something. Build up a program. Make it, make the fans interested. I felt that the WWE office just went, okay, there's the strap. Who cares about it? You've had it for a couple of months. We've got to give it to someone else. Switch it tonight. And there was no build up. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no, it was just a wasted angle. And that basically comes down to, they only push a certain amount of people at the WWE, and I wasn't on the list, or the Cruiserweight title wasn't on the list. So they, it was just kind of a secondary thing. And I guess I was disappointed that they didn't actually run a program. But in terms of actually dropping it to Funaki, no problem. I loved working with him. He was a lot of fun. I got to wrestle him in Japan, and that was a blast.
Do you see that? Do you see that? That seems to be a problem a lot with the writers, especially in the WWE, since it's the one in the spotlight the most, where they seem to drop angles really quickly.
Oh yeah, it happened a bunch of times. And I mean, to me, the biggest waste that they did with me was splitting me up with Molly Holly. And that was early when I got there, maybe 2001, but I thought that was a really, really neat angle that the people really responded to, two ordinary average people with having this little love affair, and it seemed like the second it was starting to get hot, boom, they pulled the rug on it and called it quits. And again, I just think they go to we're only going to devote so much TV time to so many people, and we got to keep our top players, the main focus. And that's just the way it is there, You just accept it. I don't know if it's right or not, but you just have to accept it if you want to work there.
Okay, all right. Was there another one, Shay?
Yeah, I got one from Kevin. Kevin wants to know, which was your favorite character to work as? Brother Runt, Spike Dudley, the Giant Killer, you name it, you had several. Which one was your favorite to work as?
Well, I think the one I was most comfortable was just being, Spike Dudley, the underdog. That was kind of what I was most natural at. That's the closest thing to extension to Matt Hyson, is just being a little guy in a land of giants. Probably physically never should have been in pro wrestling, given my size and that sort of thing, but happened to make it. And that underdog quality was what established me. I did enjoy playing the boss thing. That was my first heel run, and I really did enjoy doing that, because that was a different side, letting out a different set of emotions. And that was a lot of fun. But I would just go with the good old Spike Dudley, a little undersized, underdog guy. That was without a doubt my favorite.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Were you injured more often than other people? Because as the little guy, being the underdog, it seems you were always pitted against the biggest guys, and they would do insane spots like the choke slam on the concrete and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say I was injured more. Being lighter has its advantages in that sense, and that the big guys can control and land you safely. I definitely didn't walk away from it unscathed. I think I might have longer-lasting, long-term conditions because of it. My neck and back are pretty whacked up. That probably, bigger guys that don't have to take as many bumps as I do probably won't sustain. But I don't think that I think, if anything, I was more durable than a lot of guys. I only missed a handful of matches due to injuries, and I always kind of worked banged up. But I mean, injuries, there's a difference between being hurt, between being sore, being banged up, and being injured. I was lucky enough, knock on wood, to only sustain a couple of blows that knocked me literally. I broke my leg a couple of times and had a bad neck when the La Resistance missed the table spot. But aside from that, I thought I actually thought I was not to say tougher, but more durable than a lot of the big guys. And plus, I was never on the gas, never had those problems of, pulled muscles and things like that. I think it, in a way, it kind of gave me a little more flexibility, a little bit more of a natural healing process.
Wait, you're not on the gas?
Yeah, no. Do you honestly asking me that question? Do you think I've ever been on the gas? I've never broken 160 pounds.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at you, and I see Chris Masters, and I don't know. It's kind of close. I was just saying.
Yeah.
We've got another question from the chat room. Scott was also asking whether or not there is a place for the Cruiserweight title in the WWE today.
Well, I mean, I think there's a place for anything if they do it right. The problem that I see with the Cruiserweights is that I see it more with the do they still have the Cruiserweight title?
No.
Nope.
Do they?
No.
If they have, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything can be done if they, separate the Cruiserweights from the heavyweights. I think one of the things that kind of made me unique, and Rey Mysterio and guys like Mikey Whipwreck, when we first came out, there weren't many of us. The 175-pound and smaller wrestler. We were really unique, and especially me, because I didn't, Rey has always had a physique, and but we were not your prototypical wrestlers. Well, I think that opened the door for a lot of the 160 to 200-pound guys getting into the business, and now there's there's more of the average size guys than there are big guys. So anytime that anything is flooded, then it makes it really difficult to get over. So I mean, there's so many talented, athletic 175-pounders. I think there absolutely is a place for a Cruiserweight title. It's just a matter of whether the WWE wants to devote time and storylines and TV time to writing it. I mean, the guys are athletic enough. I mean, look at TNA. Those, their X division. Those guys are insane with the stuff that they do. I think if you throw a little psychology in it and write some good stories, then I think it's very entertaining. It's just a matter of how much TV time is left for the Cruiserweights, or any title for that matter.
Definitely. And Shane, I see you in the chat room also.
Yeah,
Spike.
Yeah, they're blowing it up in the chat room right now. Spike, who do you think is like the best? I guess you would call it Cruiserweight in the world today. I'm thinking you might say Rey, because you kind of said that a little earlier.
Oh, absolutely, Rey. I mean, Rey without question. I mean, there's guys that are certainly in his league. Chavo's right up there, and and there's a gazillion bunch of them. But in terms of psychology, storyline, connecting with the audience, I mean, Rey is just the cream of the crop. I mean, I don't think you can. Who can you name that you would put above him? You know what I mean? So I mean that's. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this: He doesn't. He's not the young kid that he was. He doesn't do as many insane spots as he did back when he popped out in WCW. So what now makes him that best Cruiserweight?
Well, I mean, it's the connection with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you say, you ask anybody who's the greatest wrestler, 9 out of 10 are going to say Hulk Hogan. Is he the greatest wrestler, technical-wise? No, but he had the biggest audience, the most connection with an audience. Those are the guys that make the most money, that get the most interest. Now, yeah, he might not be doing all of the crazy stuff. It doesn't mean he can't do it. It's just that he's learned how to work without doing it. I mean, it takes its toll. He's been in the business for over 20 years, and I mean, guys, it